I can't see myself. I just have to trust that I'm here.
Yeah.
Okay, but I can see the chat.
You can see yourself.
Okay. Okay. What's up, guys? Welcome back. I know you guys left for a while. Welcome. Hey, real quick. 2 discs that I am absolutely shocked are still on our site, because if I were you guys, I'd want to know where the goods are at. This Moonshine Stag, there are only like 30 retailers that have this thing. We're one of them. I am not joking when I say this is seriously the best disc I've ever felt. Mikey and I are like holding ourselves back. So if you guys don't buy them, they're going in our bags at some point. But it'd be better if you bought them.
I'll figure it out.
Yep. The other thing is the Dune. We got a bunch of these left. So, and they're sold out other places. So yeah, anyways, wanted to show you guys those because...
All right, send me that.
Boom. Oh, yeah. I should have probably opened with that. Now I see the chat. Yes, we've got an office here, and we've got... Well, Mikey's got good plans for the space. I just do what he says. Are they more stable than normal Stag? I have not thrown it. Your Stag wasn't super flippy, though, before, was it, Mikey?
It's to my flippy grade.
Okay.
It's a little bit more fade.
Yeah. I mean, I would guess since it's glow, it's a little more stable. But, I mean, if you're throwing Stags, I imagine you would want this. So I don't have that much experience with the Stag. And I'm trying not to gain any more by throwing these, because I definitely will. To the retail space here. Retail. It's not a retail space. No. Should we...
I don't know if you can actually get a tour in here.
Yeah. We can't give you guys a tour right now, but...
It's cool.
It's cool. If you've been keeping up with our Instagram stuff, then you will have seen different pieces of this place. So, Dakota, you're being summoned.
What?
By...
Oh, hey, God. I saw Grant stand up for a birthday thing with them.
Yeah, the Craves are gone. I didn't even get one of our Craves. So, Mike was like, all the ones I looked at in the beginning, Mike's like, oh, these are great for pictures. That was the last time I saw them.
The Craves.
Now one of you have them. So, we've got, man, I wish I could show you guys the stamps that we have coming in, or the stamps that we're putting in right now. Oh yeah, can I? Okay. But yeah, the next stamp's filthy. Can we? Okay. You guys are gonna get a little sneak peek. It's my favorite so far. You're gonna. Okay, I need to figure out why this stuff's not on my iPad. Let me do this. Oh yeah. Come on now. There we go. Let me get out of there. Whoosha. Yeah, none of it's on my iPad actually, Mikey. Yeah, I've got old stuff. Let me delete. I turned it off and turned it back on. Yeah, that's what I did.
So it's in library. All files. Reference content.
This isn't this is reference content. Whoa, what are those people doing? Hey, it's okay. We got it.
Okay.
Yes, new office. The space was priced to where we could not really say no. I mean, we could have said no, but our storage space that we're using was like a quarter of this size, and it was just like 40% of the price. So it's like, anyways, yeah, we've got some cool stuff that's going to happen here because we've got, obviously we can putt in here, but I'll be teaching my lessons here now. So those of you who have been taking lessons, you've seen kind of my home space like expand and grow and grow. And so now here, Mikey's going to put a like a tee pad here. We got some really cool stuff that's going to be going down with Tech Disc. So I've been trying not to fidget with this too much, but man, we can get there's a TV up here that you guys can't see, but like Tech Disc, if you don't know it, it gives you the speed, the spin, the nose angle, the release angle, wobble, and like distance. So this is an Undertaker that we've got this on. But yeah, so we've got a lot of really cool capabilities here with this. You've spelled it correctly. About right. So, oh, I should just use that during the live stream. But it's going to bring some really cool stuff because now when people come in for lessons into Lynchburg, I can teach my lessons here instead of having to go, and if in the rain doesn't mess with any of it. So that'll be nice because some people like plan their trip and it's like, oh, it rained, so we can't actually do field stuff. And then with Tech Disc, we can actually get the data, which is pretty cool. So yeah. Will you use it in the live stream? What are you using it right now, bro? So I don't know how much I'll throw into the net because we have to kind of like pull the net, but yeah. Yeah, this isn't set up for me to throw into, right? It's too close to the wall.
We can, right? You can move it after. You can throw into it right now, yeah.
Okay.
I mean, yeah, it's gonna be pretty close, but I mean, you're safe here.
Okay.
I think.
Okay.
We can test it.
Let's test. Hey, perfect. So yeah. Well, I've always done in-person stuff. It's just usually way less than online stuff. So, but we're in Lynchburg, Virginia.
The time for Discord.
Yep.
How do you see the time?
It's in the top left-hand corner of the YouTube.
Oh.
Yeah. So, yeah. Tech Disc is not an app, or it's an Android app, but not a not an iOS. It's it's basically beta. Yeah, it basically is in beta testing right now, and the big thing is this dealio back here, which is quite expensive. It's not really it's not like something you all can access right now. So they're testing, making sure that their product's good, and we're part of that testing group. So, and you know what? If you want to test it out, you just come on up to Lynchburg and let's do a lesson. Or you know what? I'll let you just throw on the net with this thing by yourself for $1 million.
$1 million.
No, it's not Kickstarter. It's a company. So you can see, I think you can see on their Instagram page right? TechDisc has an Instagram page, right?
Yeah, you can actually go to the website too, techdisc.com, and see how the simulator works and stuff.
Yeah. So it's cool. It's really fun. I tried not to mess with it too much because I don't want. I'm really bad on. I'm really bad on like reproducing initial reactions. So, for example, if it was like, oh, I wonder what happens if I change my grip, and I'd already like played with it off camera, being like, oh, it added more spin. Who knew? Like, I can't really do that. So I'd rather just like wait until I can get all of it on camera the first time, so you get my actual reactions. So, but it's cool. The RPM and seeing all that is like pretty cool. I love it. I love TechDisc. So, I mean, we're going to be using it. Buying a Dune? Are you asking me? I mean, I don't have to buy it because we got it. So if I want it, I takes it. But I don't know if you guys saw the stamp from that we did on the inner cores for our ace race. We did this like panda eating Robbie C. bird. So we took Jesse's logo and we combined it with Robbie's in a fun way. So my vote is to put that on one of these suckers if I'm gonna throw it. So, but yeah. All right, who is on right now that I need to review their stuff? I'm just gonna start moving. Uh-oh. Oh, that's fine. I seen it. Okay, I got you, bro. You're first. Toenail. All right, Mikey, we moving. I have to figure out how to get here without destroying the tripod leg. Wow, now I can just be like here with you. Toenail, 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 toenail. Toe heel. Should be toe to heel. I'm going to see if you do it. Don't take from me just because you can. Your net is super tall. Dude, true? Look at our net and see how short he would have to be for that to be the case. Sub 1 foot. This is the interesting thing with nets that you have to be careful of. And I found this out because I did the same thing. But with nets, because of like where this square is, and although your net is huge, so maybe not, you just got to be careful that it's not bringing you down. So what I'm looking at is the angle of your hand like out of the pocket. So just make sure that the net's not making you throw further down like into the dirt than normally you would be aiming. How far are you throwing? Toenail. Just let me know when you're back on, Hotman. I mean, the form is looking fairly clean. I mean, if we look at timing here, of like when he gets into the plant and all that. Are you like, it looks to me like your wrist is, I'm going to exaggerate here, but it looks like it's like you're kind of crushing the grip and your wrist is like flared out here versus being more curled. But there, it looks fine. So what's the deal? Because the big thing is there's something with release going on here. Yeah. So the two things I'm kind of wondering, let's see, shoulders not coiling enough. Tends to be an extension instead of flexion on the reach back. But then I try to get into flexion by the time I hit the pocket. Yeah, people do that. My release is quite inconsistent though. Yeah. Now, are you trying to like are you trying to like pop your hand out during, like into your hit here? Like this looks curled. And there, I can't quite tell. No, it looks like it's probably pretty. What you don't want to do is you don't want to try to help with your wrist into the hit. Like your wrist cannot outpace your arm enough to do that. So it actually ends up hurting the throw. And then you're like not bracing quite well enough. You need to keep your body back behind your brace. You see how Simon's head's like way back behind his brace here? And you kind of leak over it. Yeah, the other thing I thought about with in regards to your release is like where your thumb's at on the disc. You see how your thumb's like actually all the way over here? Mess with thumb placement a bit and see. So I'd try to go like try even deep, but pull it off the edge here because you need enough grip for it to like withstand the amount of force from your throw, right? So if you're moving your arms at 80 mile an hour and this thumb like is just at the edge, like your hand can't really grip well enough to get it all the way through the hit before it comes out. So there's going to be a redirect that happens. But yeah. So yeah, elbow is tricky, and you should get that looked at. You know, it's funny. I was having this conversation with someone else just yesterday, and someone on here will recognize parts of this. But when you go into extension, you don't actually want your arm to like lock out. All right, and I'll pull you. So I was talking to Loop Ghost yesterday, and in a very Loop Ghosty way, he said elbow stuff is tough because it could be 1, overuse, 2, arthritis, 3, prior injury, 4, bottoming out the joint during disc ejection, which would be like straighten your arm out at the point, like, and that being the reason that this stops and goes over, right? And then 5, over gripping the disc, right? So if we look at Simon here, at release, look at this. When it starts tugging, his arm is still bent. So the arm doesn't straighten out until late in the follow through after a bunch of that energy is dispersed. Right? So you shouldn't be going boom and snapping this arm straight and jolting your elbow. So it's almost better for you to practice if you're like locking out than to practice like curled and hitting curled a little bit. It's hard to tell between these frames here. Like, I don't know if that's totally straight or if that's bent. I know with Simon, that's bent. Like, it's way easier to tell with him because of the angle and all that. But I'm not sure. So, yeah, so I'd check grip, like adjust your thumb placement so that like overall you have a more solid grip on the disc. Stay behind your brace foot. And then for the elbow stuff, it's like make sure you're not smashing the grip so that your arm muscles are tight, because if your arm muscles are tight, like your joint's going to take the hit. So yeah. Yeah, your timing for your pocket looks fine. So yeah. All right. Onward. Got to make sure I don't do like 20-minute form reviews in the beginning. It does look good. You? Okay. Okay, Chris is here and TL Fouch is also here. Mm.
I don't need to put these types of things in Discord, right?
Correct. Correct. So you've got this motion with your arm here, where you're here and you go, whoosh. Oh, that wasn't a stab at you, Gerald. That was me saying that I tend to go overboard with the like initial people. So you see how this palm is like changing angles through the throw here, where you're kind of going, oh, let me serve you now, right? You start going into the waiting, like waiting on table deal here. So you don't want to go from here like high five, psych, I'm waiting tables. you want to stay here. It's kind of this, the slot that you want is, like, imagine you're arm wrestling, right? So if you set up like you're going to arm wrestle me, and then the motion is the same motion, right? That's why we use it for arm wrestling, because it's very powerful, right? So you want this arm wrestling motion. You would never go like this arm wrestling someone, right? Your elbow's more or less here, and you're using this motion versus sliding your elbow around everywhere. It does move a little bit. It's not like totally immobile, right? But it's more of this motion with your arm versus this, right? So if you take that motion and you're here, you bend over, now we're arm wrestling kind of like this way because we bent over like that, right? So that's the basic motion there. What we don't want to do is go here, and now we're going to go whoosh, right? That'd be a very bad position to arm wrestle someone. So you need to get here, bend over, and it's this way. So I'm going to show you this here, where you're scooping. So there's no net this way, so I can't throw it there. Keep the swing plane flat, not all swooping, curvy. Yeah. You don't want this. You just want, like if you're standing up like this, it's just going to be boom, which is here, which is a big anhyzer, right? That's why you see people really bent over. Yeah, so Sarah Hokum is like here, right? And she's got her wrists like flared down too. So she's here. Right? So the way your arm works is the same. And then we get different angles here, just like on the backhand, right? You don't go like, oh, I want to throw an anhyzer. Now my arm comes this way. Oh, I want to throw a hyzer. Now my arm comes this way. And I want to throw flat. So now my arm comes out this way, right? You don't change how this works relationally. You use one swing, and then we change stuff here. Sometimes we change a little bit of other things, but it's the same swing that you adjust body angle with. Same thing here. It's always this kind of arm wrestle swing. And if we want to throw an anhyzer, or more upright, or a forehand roller, you're really upright, or a tomahawk, you lean back a little bit, and now you're throwing up high. If you want to throw a hyzer, we lean over. And now I'm just arm wrestling here, and my hand's sliding kind of across the table. This way. So yeah. So I see this all the time on forehands. It's like you just got to practice that motion. Okay, TL Fouch. Let's watch it. So this is your kind of classic walking backwards. Not a lot of people do this, like where they start really back like that with that foot. So when they do, they usually walk backwards. There's probably a pro that does that, but I can't like pull them off the top of my head. See the hips being fired all the way back here. And then what happens is you go from here, so your hips are currently pointing here, right? And then you start opening them up, boom, and they rotate open to here. So you can't really shift them properly. So instead, what you would like to do, well, I'm assuming you would like to do, maybe you don't. So instead of going here and getting the hips back here, because now you can't turn, you have to delay that turn for one step. So you're going step, turn, unturn. Instead, you need to go step without a turn, X step without a turn backwards, and now, whoa, I'm an athlete, and now you turn. Right, so we get into this position where our butt is forward, our back is forward, this is the coil. Right? And now we can actually shift our hips forward here. Versus if they're back here, we've got to go around. Right? And now if you go around, you've got this whole around swing path like this, which is what we see with you, instead of this through motion, allowing the hands to come in tight. So we need, don't turn here, now turn. Questions? I know you're on here, so I'll answer a question or two if you got them. Where are you? Ligma, regarding your question, assuming you're asking on the forehand side, your body, you know, this kind of spacing on the forehand, like there's space here. You keep that. And the space can change a little bit. Like if you throw a ball, the elbow moves forward. But it's not like this, right? It's not tight the whole time. If you're tight the whole time, this is all you got. So yeah, you don't need to keep it tight the entire time. What I'm doing makes me over the top, correct? My issue is lack of power. Yeah, the lack of power is from this position, right? Look how you're throwing out of your left pec. See how it gets here? Right? So you're throwing from this side of your body right now, instead of getting it here and having this small little arc here, right? If you have to go all the way around like this, it's just not as quick as if you're going through, right? We know that. It's way faster to walk in a straight line than it is like way around. So this isn't totally straight, but it comes inside and it kind of cuts through all this, right? So currently, when you walk backwards like this, there's no way for the disc to travel more or less straight. So when you start swinging open, you're going to be stuck here on this left shoulder because there's no reason for your arm to get here onto this right shoulder because now you just shank right. So we have to get the footwork in a place where it allows us to get the disc here. Right? We need to get this thing through here. The hands have to come in tight to the body and then kind of out away from the body here. Right now, they're just going out, 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 out. It's just a long, they have to overcome the force of the, merry-go-round there. Like if you're on the outside, you feel that force. Well, now you're like trying to go against it to throw a disc fast. That's just drag out here. Versus if you can get it inside, it's very easy to move the disc quickly from in here versus having to stay quick from out here. Right? So if you just have this thing as far back as you can get it, you can feel that is not as easy to get quick as here. So your footwork's hindering the ability for you to get into the pocket, which is why I addressed the footwork first. Can you explain off-axis torque? Off-axis torque is if I'm trying to throw the disc like this, and then I pull my hand like down like that. I'm trying to throw it this way, and I go boop, and I pull it off-axis. Are you saying over the top to refer to the brace? Yes. Over the top refers to being on top of your front foot. You're going up and over your brace versus staying behind your brace and letting your hips clear out of the way. Okay. Onward. You guys with questions like off-axis torque and all that should join our, you should follow us on Instagram. The reason I say that is not to get more Instagram subscribers, although that would be sweet, or followers, whatever they're called on Instagram. But because I do live streams on there where people ask all the questions they want on that topic, and I don't feel like I have to get through 4 reviews. I just stay on until the questions stop coming. So if you got like lots of questions and you like to talk about that stuff, well, that's one place that you might consider joining. Okay, I think John Janides said something in our... Oh, wait, Hotman's here. No, Hotman said between 11:30. So, John, you're up now, brother. Oh, dude, in Georgia, and this is from Mikey and Dakota, and they don't have, like, stuff that wants to kill you. Yeah, they don't have snakes. They don't have, like, a bunch of ticks. They don't have... It's just like a disc golf paradise, except there's no disc golf. There's no disc golf. Yeah, I was like pulling up these acacia trees. Pulling up these acacia trees in this like grassy field, just like putting my hand down in the dirt, ripping these things up, and it was like just looking around and the people there because he's pulling up the guy. Anyways, I was with some locals, and so nobody's like worried about snakes or anything. I'm like yeah, you might have like a corn snake or something like every now and again, but yeah. So it was crazy. I'm like, dude, this is great. They have like fruit trees. Just grab some plums off the fruit trees. Yeah. Oh, we brought back more. We got a bunch of it. I'm never cooking with it again, but hey. Let's see here. This is another backwards one. It's actually almost exactly the same problem. See, you're not alone. You guys aren't alone. You're with each other. Oh, I just deleted this thing or else I could show you. So here's this foot being backwards already. Here it is. Hips already back. So what's he going to have to do? He's going to open them here. Boom. See how he opens? Boop. This is causing loss of space in the pocket. That's why he's swooping, and that's why his hand's up here and his elbow's super tight to his body. And he's going to throw out of the left side because you can't not. So let me show you, since we just did one that was very similar. Let's go with Drew. Whoop. Here we go. So now watch during this last step. Boom. Now his butt's towards the target. And his knee Come on now, I'm not trying to see myself over there. Right? And the knees pointing back. Right? You got to get in that position for the throw. Is there a particular drill to help fix that opening hips too early? The best way is to go through it slowly. Right, so start sideways here. Get towards your toes. Right, you can learn, if you want to build from the end, you can start here, wait towards your toes. I'm just dangling my arm here because this is easier. My heels are up. I'm in this athletic stance with my chest kind of over my knees here. And then you swing back onto this left heel, and now look, my butt cheek has gone forward. When I swing back this way and turn my shoulders, right? Boom, here. And now you can learn to go from here, left toe, and drop that heel into the ground, right? You're not going to get your foot like this probably in real-time throw, but what we don't want is for the foot to be open at all. It's much harder to get in the brace, especially if you, it's impossible if you like twist into this, but you want to get your hips going. So get your butt facing the target there, and then slide your hips forward. Shift your hips forward as you put that heel down, right? Instead of rotating your hips open. Yeah, you don't have to worry too much, I think, about throwing your reach back out, right? You just get your shoulders back. And if you've, had your elbow away from your body in the beginning, you're going to have enough space there.
This is so cool.
I wish I could make bracing look that easy when I actually throw. But yeah. My mental cue. Okay. Let's see. So then you build back from that, right? So you start sideways here. And you go. First, if you're having trouble with it, you need to be able to do this move. You need to be able to do a crossover forever. Because this is the X step, right? And this is what's giving you trouble. Is during your X step, you're going like this. And you're ending up in a circle instead of just going here. Again, you got to be on your toes. You got to stick your butt out a little bit. You got to be kind of in this athletic posture here to make that happen. But then you go, don't turn, boom. And now we're in that same part that we just worked off of. So we go, don't turn, turn. Cool. And then eventually you'll work shift, throw. So that's how I work through it. Slowly. Brain numbingly slow. And then maybe you're getting close to going slow enough. Yeah, it's not going to be fluid in the beginning. But you got to break the turning back, even if you lose 100 feet. So, do it. I tell this story sometimes, and I'm going to tell it again. But there was this time where I found I was going like I was moving back too early with my head. So, I decided to set up my tripod where you guys are at, and I would go. And I would find the tripod and look at it the whole time. And I wondered, why did I lose 100 feet today? Because it was so robotic. But yeah. It's going to happen. You will learn to smooth it out over time. Okay. And there's no way around it. Like, everyone's got to learn not to turn back too early and not to unwind too early. So, okay. Who else is on here? Hotman, are you back? Hotman here. Surely it's not Hot Man. No one would actually.
Sure.
No one would actually call themselves a hot man, huh? It's Hotman. Avatar? Magique. Magique. And if it is actually Hot Man, then you got some explaining to do. I want to hear that. Okay. Hey, I don't make the themes, I just recognize them. So, here, let's see what happens. Here. And does he open at the end? Yep. And here, twisting into the brace. Now, the timing is actually, let me commend you on your, like, pull-through timing. Whoa. It's kind of crazy, though. The fact that you planted before you started pulling through. Great thing. Now, what in the flippity-flop is happening here, brother?
Wow.
I'm not going to lie to you. That's the worst I've ever seen. In terms of disc flip. Now, why? Here's the good thing. You are way looser than probably anyone else who's done this. And that's why it's like popping up like that. It's very loose. All right, we might need a little more rigidity in your throw. Hotman is German for throws plastic bad. Yeah, let's go through your grip first because we'll go through a couple things. So I'll do the typical, here's how you find your grip. You go from heel here, right? Go ahead and grab the disc like that. So now I've got fingers in there. And I've got this little like eye of the tiger on this side. Eye of the German. That's probably a bad thing somewhere in history. And then go ahead and wrap, right? So your fingers will come in kind of diagonally like this, right? And your thumb should be in a pretty good place to support that. So this should feel fairly solid. We don't want to like have it. We don't want to be on the tips here, obviously, or a lot. Sometimes people do. I kind of call this the monkey paw, or like that little Japanese cat thing, where it's gripped in this way. So that diagonal grip gives us a little more surface area in there. It gives it a little better. We want it to like rip out very forcefully. So more surface area gives us more resistance there. So I'll show you that one more time, since you probably have a disc right now and are going through it. Heel of the hand, here, grip, and now we've got this little eye on this side, and we've got these fingers in diagonally, right? And then curl that under, and you can mess with thumb placement and stuff like that. How much palm meat should be on the disc? Changes. I've seen guys like with a lot of palm meat on the disc, and I've seen like Drew, for example, where it's like not a lot. The big thing is like have it come in here angled with the fingers. How comfortable are you going to standstills for a while? like a couple weeks or a month. Because if you think you have like the mental fortitude to go to a standstill for a month, then what I'm going to instruct you to do is different. Okay, you said very, and I forgot how I asked the question. How willing are you, or how unwilling are you? Okay, cool. I was like, what did I ask? Okay, so let's eliminate some of the issues then with the walk-up by going to standstill for you. So when you start messing with that grip, the fingers are in and all that stuff, we're going to get here, bent knees towards the toes, so I can lift my heels up if I want to, like completely off the ground. We don't need to have them completely off here. So now we've got this grip. We need to practice getting into the pocket here, all the way deep into this right pec and throwing. So it's going to look like this. Here, in. And we're just going to track the disc here and make sure that our wrist, we want to make sure that when we throw, we've got hand, disc, then us. Not hand and disc, then us. It needs to be out here. Coming in this way. So we kind of curl in on ourselves. And then we uncurl. So when we go back swing, we're uncurled, and then we go boom, curl in on ourselves. So now I've got my wrist a little bit bent back here. And we uncurl. Now we don't uncurl the wrist, but we uncurl the arm, right? So this is the practice. You're going to check your grip often until you get a grip that works. It's here, and it's just slow. So over here, okay, cool. And then, cool. So we're going to go slow. We go boom. Elbow is outside the frame of the body here, so it's boom, and then extend. Then slap with the back of the hand, right? Elbow, slap. Wow. Make sure you're outside. No, I didn't.
I don't know what you did.
It flopped right here because I was going really slow. Clip it. Clip it.
I'm watching people right now.
Clip it. So here, boom. But that's slow. That obviously this doesn't want to rip out of your hand going at that speed. Just gonna yeah. I've had people, like when people start learning this and they start learning like about grip, that happens. So yeah. And then eventually you speed it up. That felt great. No, it happens a bunch. That's why, like, if I'm teaching clinics or something, I have people spread out. Because, like, when you go slow and you hold on to the disc, like, it does not want to, it doesn't have enough speed to, like, go out of your grip. So, but yeah. Okay, that's what I would focus on. And good warning for you to not do it inside. When you're going faster, your hand can't like resist the tug. Just doesn't have enough speed. But yeah. Hey, seriously, clip that though, because be a nice little Instagram piece. Useful for something. Okay, who's next? I didn't see any of these other guys on here yet. Absolutely. I was like, sheesh, sunset on the beach. Mm, 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 bang. The best thing is that he was German. So there's like probably not a people group I could have used that. Dirk, what is your name? Are you Boobad? But when I looked at the camera and said like this is the worst I've ever seen, a German would be like, "Yep, sounds about right." Mikey's got to get with you on like format or something because he was struggling to get this on here for whatever reason. He had to eventually he had to just screen record it to get it on here. So I'm not sure what the solution is there for that to make sure we don't have any complications in the future. But I remember watching this though, but I'll let everybody else watch it here. Bum bum bum. Yeah, you can see the redirect here. It's really cool. You can see the tug. If you watch it come through here, it goes here, boop. And when you watch it full speed, you can see the tug. There. But yeah. Okay. So nose angle, you're like pressing your thumb down out of the pocket. You're swinging like this and flipping your thumb down, which is going to cause some nose up, like air bounce type stuff. So you got to keep, for me, it's helpful to keep it like kind of down here and just set up that way. And kind of keep it almost locked down the whole time. So that way it comes through, it's like always down in the pocket. So that's been particularly helpful for me to make sure that I'm not going like this, but you got to go and hit this position with the wrist down. And it's like, another way of saying this is like if our forearm is like this, right, this is flat when we hold, if it's in line with our forearm. So the only way to get it down is to get the wrist to where now, here's my forearm, and you can see that the nose is down in reference to my forearm, right? This would be nose up. Right, so if you want to throw the nose up, you just go, and you can pop that wrist up in reference to the forearm. And it does not take much. So got to get that down. Now you can roll it in and down, doesn't have to be down the whole time, but when I have worked on this, it's been helpful for me personally to have it down the whole time. Or you can roll into it. That's first thing. Second thing is you're throwing from your left shoulder because of how like early your left side's coming in. If you start moving this left side forward, the shoulder in before the hand can get in and pass the left shoulder, then it's going to be stuck here the whole time because it's just going to be like plastered to this. So we need to let, from here, the right arm's got to come into this right pec before this left shoulder can come in. So you've got to work on your pocket timing here. Right, so that's probably the other important thing there. Confirm whether it's me trying to sign in. It's It's not me. Let me not confirm that. Yeah, there's some other stuff, or there's like the brace, you'll want to get better and better. You'll want to resist more and more on this foot, but it's mostly here and not flipping that thumb down out of there. Bobby Bobman. What a name.
What?
Bobby Richard Bobman. Robert. Bobby Robert Bobman. Does all of that make sense? Free like a bird. Like having it's Blitz. Yeah, I mean, it's worth looking at. I think like some people are solving different problems with, for example, like reach out. Like some people will say, let me read this in case people are just like vegging. Vegging as they watch this. I know people just like put us on in the background and they absorb. But some people will try to like, oh, I can't get into the pocket, so like let me reach out, because they get trapped on this left side. But this doesn't necessarily solve them getting trapped on the left side. It just, like at the end of the day, you still have to get into the pocket. It just makes it a little bit easier not to get trapped behind you, I guess. It's not making you do the right thing necessarily, but works for some people. Oh. Select. Book, 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 book. How many of these do I have left? These are all my lessons from the end of. Hey, it's Emily. Wait, somebody else said that they're here. Did they say they were here?
I think it
Okay. Oh, no, Tom. I don't know who that is. Who'd that be? What's your name be on here? I'm hoping it's West Virginia Freebird. That'd be cool. Free like a bird. Yeah, the interesting thing is like when Paul was having trouble with his drive during Worlds, the thing that he switched was a less active left arm. Interesting, no? Mm-hmm. Interesting. One thing about this setup that I realized is since the disc like bounces back towards you, it made my brace better, I think. I have no video evidence to prove it, but we're pretty confident. We being Mikey and I. Dakota didn't have any input yet. We didn't ask him. What? All right, here we go. So Mikey, give me a timestamp for Corwin. Winter chess form reviews. Dude, I've got a student. His name is a chess name. So I was like, so, you play chess? He's like, yeah. I was like, okay. So you're like, so off his response, it felt like one of those things where, you know, when people respond yes about a hobby and you're like, this person I think is probably more than your average hobbyist. So it's like, so I wanted to say, like, okay, what are you, 2,200? But I wanted to be nice, so I guessed higher, 2,400. And he was like, no, I'm not 2,400. I'm 2,200 or 2,300. And I was like, he said 2,300. I was like, wow. Like, imagine being that good at chess. Beep, boop, bop, boop. Speaking of, Magnus Carlsen. It's been a while since I've seen it. It was not Magnus Carlsen. Imagine someone 2,300 getting absolutely trounced by Magnus Carlsen. Who's doing crazy things right now. So you see how in front of the disc your hand is, how your hand's here? It's super, super important to keep your hand on the outside or even towards the back of the disc for as long as possible. As a matter of fact, Lube Ghost and I also talked about this. We talked about, I mean, we just, I just casually chat with Loop Ghost. Yeah. Famous person he is. But let me show you. Or I should do this. I should compare. I should add Simona Halep. Speaking of, Carlitos. See how he stays curled, curled, curled. He's trying to stay on for as long as possible. It's not until his arm starts unfurling here. So you need to get deeper into the pocket, and you've got to get your brace a little bit better. You see how it's you're going over the top here. Your head's like going past that brace. Simon keeps his head behind the brace. All right, so we want to be curled for basically as long as we can possibly be curled for. And then all the extension and the speed kind of happens here. But you've got to be curled here. So stay curled for longer and don't let your head go past this brace. You need this brace to keep you back behind the throw. So you can practice, pushing off. You can try to throw and then come backwards at slower speeds just so you can get that. And then after you throw, the momentum that's left over carries them up, not during the throw. We pass it. So those are the two important things. I mean, the difference between being here and being here is massive in terms of spin and speed. I keep wanting to spin my, I keep wanting to spin the disc, but it had that. And I just found out that you can, you can't go super fast. I can't. Maybe somebody more skilled than I. Yeah, I like where chess is at right now for me. Brandon 9K is the next one.
Yeah.
Because I don't have to get into like memorizing openings or anything like that. It's still got like the creative aspects. I really like chess for the creative aspects of it. So you've got like, okay, here are the kind of the guiding principles, and then capture their king. However, so yeah, it would be unfun for me to get to the point where it's like, oh, yeah, the first 20 moves are all theory, and like you have to know the theory. Not this guy. But I think you can get a long way, and this is what my student was saying. He's like, yeah, I don't remember how high he got before he had to start like looking at feeling that stuff. What's up with all these vertical videos today? Shame upon your family. Shame upon your pets. Shame upon the earth that you walk upon. Shameful footprints. What you got going? Okay, behind view. Now, side view is preferred just for future reference, because sometimes I can't see what I need to see. But in this case, I can see what I need to see. So here, you can tell that the foot's going. So you're turning back and you're out here, and then your foot goes whoop, and it twists back this way. Right? So the first thing that I think you need to learn is probably drop the walk up for a little bit, drop the X step for a little bit, and just learn to have the hands, have the right hand pass in tight to the body, to arc into the body here and pull it in instead of instead of pulling it around. You see how you've got this like outward arc in your throw? So you go in here, but from here, stuck kind of on the left side, and then you're going from here, out. From here, and now it's around. That's not what you want. Instead, you want it to go inside. You want to go inside your body. And this is kind of where the out, in, out came. You don't want to go out, out, out. Like you don't want to be at full extension this whole time. You don't want to be opening up. It's like I was swimming in a pool not too long ago, and the concept's similar. Like when you try to go underwater, you know, when you dive and you go, whoo, and you're going through, or you push off the wall and you're like tight and you're doing the whole little Michael Phelps dolphin kicking thing. Well, it feels really lame when you go out there and you have that initial like, and now every like meter you try to travel is like, oh, I've got to use these muscles. When before I was just like gliding forward. So same thing for us. Once we start opening up, it's like we were here and then we go whoop and we start opening up. Now there's like so much more drag, right? So this is the equivalent of that. It's like, oh, let's open up. No, stay, get this thing tight. And it's really important, like this is kind of that diving portion here. And then you have that initial like, woo, 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 and then that's it. After that, you're slow. So you got one shot at accelerating here. You stay tight and go and accelerate from here. But you need this arc inside here. So I would go inside, practicing. Let's slide this elbow forward here and then open up. Slide forward, get it tight, slide forward, then open up. I'll do this a little faster so I don't break anything in here. Forward, open up. Got it. But yeah. So Bobby, what about chest? What were we talking about? Joe's Quack is the next timestamp I need. Ignore the chest. Never. So what's causing the, rounding here is actually the direction of your footwork and the overstriding. So watch where you start directionally. And I'll do the same. How about that? How about we all just watch? So if we take this initial line, right, which direction is he going? He's going. Here is his walk-up line. Now watch this. Look at how staggered he is. The angle is tough to show you that he's no longer on his line, right? But look how far this way these feet are in reference to his line. It's a lot. So we've got to work on getting that last step way more in line here. The amount of stagger we want is in reference to the initial line that we're throwing. So the first, 20, 50 feet of the disc flight, right? If I'm throwing it at you guys, my stagger is going to be about 20 degrees. The non-geometric way of saying that would be like, here's my throwing line, like between these legs, right? So where my heel and my toe basically line up. That's about where it is for most people, right? Your line is like way over here. So what that's going to force you to do is it's going to force you to bring all of this. I'm trying to figure out what angle to show you guys. I'm like, lock it in place. You're going to have to do one of two things. Either you're going to go here and you're going to have everything trapped back here, or you're going to have to swing everything around and wide, which is going to inhibit your ability to get directly into the pocket because we're swinging everything out and around. Right? So we need to work on having our walk-up line way more direct to the target. So if you try to take that left foot and go way out to the right with it, you might have some initial benefit because it's going to keep you from going over the top as easily. But you're going to put like your back in jeopardy a little bit, and it's just tough to get all of that around. So the stagger that happens will most likely naturally happen once we get here and we start turning our back to the target. Now I've got stagger here, right? You can see that. So work on your walk-up lines. And it'll help your accuracy. Okay, Crash Lebowski is the next one. What are we talking about? Tennis with bats? Joel Freeman ain't gonna like this. Next. Boop. Boop, boop. Ah, and we've come full circle. Okay, everybody should know the issue here. All right, wait for it, wait for it. Here. All right, you should know because we've done 3 or 4 other people that had the same problem. Hips back. Hips are opening and your weight's on your left heel right now. Boop. So the hips have opened and been locked out. Instead, what you ought to do, get your weight towards your, so get shoulder width or a little bit more than shoulder width. Get your weight towards your toes here. Lift up your heels. Right? Bend down. Get your booty out a bit. And then as we do our walk up, we're going to keep our weight towards our toes. So we go, I'm starting here, and I'm actually going to do a right step, even though it's already extended. Right step on my toe. Toe. Stay on the toe. And then turn your butt to the target. And then we go and slide our hips forward, and that's where we put the heel down. Right? Way easier when your butt is out and you are on your toes to not turn backwards in the X step. If you stand upright like this and you go into the X step and you try to cross, your hips want to clear so you can get back there. So instead of doing that, we're going to go. So we create like a little cubby for this foot to slide behind. Toe, toe, toe. And then shift into the heel. So you've got to learn toe, toe, toe. And you've got to learn not turn, turn. Mm-hmm. So you're throwing off of your left pocket. You need to throw off of your right pocket. This is making it so you have to use a lot of force to get this disc forward because it's going around, right? So your arm's feeling force. Like if you drove around a curve at 25 miles an hour in your car, you're just gonna feel a lot. You're gonna feel the like G force, even though you're not creating that much. You're gonna feel the force in the car more than if you drive 25 miles an hour straight, right? So your arm is feeling that as it goes around. You want it to go nice and easy through, and you use way less gas and energy to get the disc straight at 25 instead of around at 25. But that's footwork causing that. If you start back like this, well, it's already starting around when you start to rotate your hips forward. So. All right, WV Freebird is the last timestamp here. Cause I'm free like a bird. So same problem. The foot is back. Foot is back. Hips are back. Hips open up. And now the disc is going to be trapped where? Here, left shoulder. Hate to do it to you, brother. Not really. We all have our shred faces. Yours just so happens to be goated. The one thing you can't really fix is a shred face. You know, you're stuck with whatever you got forever. Dakota's venturing from the other room to see. No, he's not. What? Yeah, so this is the same issue. I will add, so here's the deal. Watch the guy before you use form review because you have the same problems. In addition, I'm going to give you, so instead of talking about what I just talked about, I'm going to talk about something different for your nose angle. And I'm going to talk about your grip because your grip looks a little funky to me as well. And I know you've been working on it because of how you set up here. So, but let me pull two additional things for you because you can set these up while you work on the other stuff. So here, so find your grip like this, boop, heel in between your peace sign here, and then curl everything around. Now we've got 3 fingers there and we've got 2 fingers on the front, right? And then just curl your index finger around. Now you should have a pretty solid grip on the disc. We want our wrist to be a little bit curled. It's probably best if you just try to keep your wrist a little bit curled the whole time here. So instead of here, say your wrist is like a little bit flared out here, keep it up. You should be, your elbow's going to be up. You can put this thing kind of on your right pec a little bit, and you can have your disc, your hand on kind of the back of the disc. Now you're kind of curled in a little bit here. This is that position that we're going to get into when we throw. So, and it's probably the most important thing in terms of getting distance would be getting in a position similar to this, right? Where we got a little bit curled and we don't actually go like, so it stays kind of curled coming out of the pocket there. So we don't help with the wrist. It won't actually be helpful. There. So that. And then the other thing is we want to make sure that we don't get in this position with our wrist, and we don't want to like flip our thumb down. So into the hit, we don't want our thumb to start going downwards like this, like thumbs down. We want it to stay on top of the disc, right? So that we can get it nose down, which will make a huge difference in the flight of your disc. So there. So those kind of two additional things. Get the grip, like we talked about, and then keep it curled. The goal basically is we're back here, and then we go, and we curl up in on ourselves. And then we've got this uncurl here versus this big wide uncurl we've got tight here, and you've got a quick little whoopsh, 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 whoopsh. So you can work on those again in addition to the previous guy's form review. So I hope you have that little extra value added there. All right, that's all we got on here. That's it. Nobody else. What? How did we end up here?
For those who stuck around, we've got a photo of the new or the design of the disc.
Okay. Free pawn?
The new disc design is going right now.
Oh, that's good. Давайте, люди русские, на славный война смертный. Давайте, люди русские. Ooh. I think I'll take the semi-open file. Rotate the night. What's this guy doing? I usually have to say that because I'm about to be mated. I mean, where will he go? Just need to bust open this center. Now he's trying to get his king to safety. How do I put pressure on that? Well, maybe I just keep munching stuff. Munch. How about that? Pressure the pinned piece. They're not seeing my victory.
Oh, there's. You're still alive.
Perfect.
For they.
Yeah, I'm on a time crunch, so just have to make sure I don't time out. Sure. Do it.
R.I.P.
Hello? Mama. Oh, yeah, I'm an idiot. Oh, he missed it. Oh.
That thing ricocheted so fast. Came off like a rocket.
Oh my goodness. I can't see chat, but yeah, you must have been with me. Let's trade stuff. Oh, I don't have time. Oh, it doesn't let me pre-move that many. Ah! Oh, I ran out of time. All right. Where's the chat?
You can't see the chat.
Well,
What are you doing? Now you're just gone.
all right. It's time for us to plan videos and stuff.
Yeah.
It's been too long.
We need to talk tech this stuff. I have thoughts.
Okay, bye.